Community Media Network South Sudan, CoMNeT, conduct a 2-day workshop on capacity building for community media stakeholders in South Sudan. The 2-day workshop brought together directors and managers of different media houses across the country. Speaking during the opening sessions, Community Media Network South Sudan's Executive Director, Ms. Josephine Ashiro, says the workshop aimed at capacity building the media stakeholders in the country.
We have been crying into our different capacity, different institutions, different radio stations about sustainability of radios and how we can sustain. Today we survive on the hands of our donors without knowing what happened tomorrow if the donors goes. There's these local talks by our leaders, our local leaders, saying it is better someone give you a net to go and fish other than giving you fish to eat. So having this training for sustainability of community media in South Sudan it's to me, this is the best gift ever we can have. Personally, as Josephine, Community Media Network, we will try to get out some strategies on how we can survive tomorrow with or without donors. That is what we need. We need to survive. If UNESCO is there, UNDP, MPA, whoever donor is supporting us in our different activities that we do, but those community radio stations, they have to operate and support and help our communities with the information they need. So if we did not put down those strategies, I think it will be a big mess to us. Then we'll be, instead of increasing the numbers of community radio stations in South Sudan, we'll be counting down. The numbers will decrease. So today, with support of our main facilitators from Nairobi, let's try to get the experience. Let's see the difference. What is happening here? What is not happening here? What is good happening in Nairobi, in community radio station in Nairobi? How do we, work together? How do we, support ourselves as community radio station in South Sudan? But let's say, yes, we are all the best radios, but serving the same community with the same goals, with the same purpose, but doing it in different ways. That will be good. But competition in terms of killing others, we will be killing ourselves every day without reaching to our goals.
UNESCO communication specialist Doreen Loboka says that the thought it is wise to start walking the talk.
With this workshop and from all the forums we've been having, we thought it wise that it's time for us to begin walking the talk. We need to begin looking at policy issues. How do the policies that have been passed, the media policies, how do they affect you as community media practitioners? How do you want to improve this sector to your benefit, but also to the benefits of the communities you serve?
Juki Gizawa worked for the Kenya Community Media Network. In his presentation projected live online from the Kenyan capital, Gizawa says the Kenya Community Broadcasting Regulation 2009 Section 13 says a community broadcaster shall reflect the needs of the people in the community, including cultural, religious, language, and demographics need, deal specifically with community issues which are not normally dealt with by other broadcasting services covering the same area, and be informal, educational, and entertaining in nature. Provide a distinct broadcasting service that highlight community issues.
So I want to highlight experience of community radio in Kenya in regard to administrative, regulatory frameworks, and lobbying and advocacy that has been done by organizations over the years. And this is, if you go to the next slide, there is the outline of presentation. I think you can go flipping in as I talk. Okay, the outline of presentation.
Yes.
I will speak a little bit about Kenya Community Media Network. I will speak also about our experience in research and advocacy on the recognition and legal frameworks for community radio. But I also talk about the priorities that made CoMNeT go to be able to win the hearts and minds of the leadership and legal authority. What are the priorities that we look for? Then I'll say what are our dreams then? What are the current legal and legal frameworks in Kenya that you can be able to follow up in South Sudan? And then I will look at whereas we took our regime from various principles. So I will basically to wait on the principles, which are globally organized as principles for community radio. And then I will look briefly at a conclusion about how I have felt over the years in a network for a variety of community media. But as usually happens in all community media associations, the community radio takes a large share of the work that is done by community media associations. It has happened in Uganda, it happens in Tanzania, that the community radio is the one that is prominent in terms of community media operations. So you can essentially call ourselves, yes, it's an association of community media, but with a big focus on community radio. Because community radio is easy for it to integrate other forms of community media, like theater, radio theater, newsletters. Is also to read newsletters. Is able to have writers and painters and poets over radio. So radio is key in terms of combining. It's called the flagship of community media, and that's why we have focused on engagements for community radio all the years.
Some participants who spoke during the learning sessions expressed the challenges affecting media fraternity in South Sudan.
Even if you are using a vernacular, there will be few elements that are portraying media negatively, and the whole community will start fighting the media. Those are the challenges I observe myself.
They think like, oh, it's your community media house, you're supposed to give us for free. So you end up just being vulnerable of your status. Many of us have become vulnerable of this because we are community media houses. Say, no, your community media house, just play for us this, so there's no problem. So do for us this advert, it's a community media house. They forget that you need operation.
If I say this one is a community radio, before I registered, the media authority is supposed to know who are the board of directors of this media, of this community radio station, and who is the managing director. Right now there is a problem here in South Sudan. A businessman or anyone who have money can purchase a radio and mobilize journalists and say this one is a community radio station. Without board of trustee, without managing director, and he will be A and that. And this guy maybe does not have a media background. How can he run the radio station? How can he know the importance of the media?
This is mostly when it comes to uncertainty of funding. When you rely on donors, sometimes you're forced to swing according to their tune. And this one becomes a big challenge because as community radio stations, sometimes you have your own plans. You have your own strategic plan at the beginning of the year, but then when funding uncertainty set in, it becomes very hard. So you get messages like, we are not yet sure of when this money will be released. We are not sure of if we can fund this budget. Can you adjust this budget? Can you cut down staff? So you find that this uncertainty with funding, especially when it comes to donor money, really affects the operation of the community radio stations.
The second thing that we want to learn, like having a community radio in Juba. Take, for example, Radio Bahita is a community radio. Now we say, can we have community in Juba? And what is the community exactly? If the community means a certain tribes, groups, or community can be a mixed group of people and they can come.
A community radio station finds it very difficult to be fair or to be impartial. For example, in Bo, most of our stories are about cattle raids and who raids whose cattle. So maybe 11 people raided cattle in Pibor, maybe the headline. But the community will come in and say, why did you broadcast that? We raided, yes, it can be a good story. But if the cattle are raided, it is the wrong story. So how do we deal with this?
We give the chance to the community to have the freedom of operation according to the law in Article 24. And then a state government or the state government entirely come in and mess up everything. So where is the public interest here?
The youth are coming saying, give us a chance. We want to make an announcement to all our members to gather on the next day so that we can pursue those cattle raiders. I've put some things here. In the law, when we use the phrase knowingly, it means somebody has come with a request to you. For you to give the request, you already know what this person is going to do once you grant that request. So knowingly, you want to give information that will either cause insecurity or cause harm. It means you are guilty of a crime here. If you are a member of a community radio at whatever position, if you are going to be allowing the community media outlets to be used for committing an offense, you are liable for any legal consequence. If somebody has died as a result of that act, no, you are a secondary participant in the crime.
The 2 days capacity training workshop for community radio managers and directors aim at empowering them with the skill to lobby for community radios to be recognized as a third sector of the media in South Sudan.
We can be able to play a greater role in our community, in our radios, and most importantly is understanding on how our legal framework help us to do the best out in our institutions, and having a good collaborations with the national security, with all the government apparatus, we can be able to move our society, our media broadcast into the next level.
Even if it is only 2 days, for us we learn a lot and we have something to take back to our institution. And for me, the message I got from here, it will make a difference from my station. And we focus on how community radio can sustain themselves, and how they can deliver information, and how are they going to operate in the community, how to make the impact in the community. The support that they need, it is all about the equipment. At least to provide fund or to support the community radio, to capacitate them in terms of training, equipment. Some of radio stations, they went off air just because they have difficulties, they have challenges.
The workshop focused on the laws, Media Authority Acts and Access to Information Act, National Communication Act, findings of the survey on the community media sustainability, sharing experiences from across the regions, UNESCO policy series on community media sustainability, and analyzing the community media sector in South Sudan.
We have learned a lot, as Daniel said. At personal level, myself, it has been the first time together in the room with you, media experts, media practitioners, to talk about strategies and policies. We have been doing it maybe in 1 and 2 kind of workshop without directions, okay? But today we have set out a goal that we want to do something. And what we want the authority in this country to do will change. Because first of all, we enlighten ourselves, we educate ourselves about the media laws. The summary that has been given to us yesterday, the presentation that Daniel has given to us, and the one you have given to us too, has changed the way personally I was thinking about everything around community media in South Sudan. Let's go home with the handout that we have in hands from UNESCO, the policy series that we have.
You have a duty to educate not only your communities or the government stakeholders, but you also have a duty to educate development partners. Show them that we do not need a lot of money, but we need your support. We need you to hold our hands to move ahead. And we do not have to overly rely on partners as well, as we need support from partners. From this workshop, let's aim at sustaining ourselves. Let's aim at changing the narrative of us waiting for people to give us funds. It will never end. We will keep on in the same cycle. So I hope this is going to change. And this workshop is just the beginning of our engagement with community media stakeholders. We've always just met at public events. This is something different, and we hope that in the next engagement, when we bring the policymakers on board, you'll have a discussion and concrete actions after this. And on behalf of UNESCO, I want to say that this is the beginning of our engagement. From the action points that are going to be developed and summarized, we will have a discussion with CoMNeTSS. Since they somehow speak for you and represent you, we may not reach out to every radio station, but through CoMNeTSS we can find out what are the pressing needs for community media stakeholders. So in our next planning, we will at least also consider some of the things we will take up on as UNESCO.